in-gate, and that has the gold and black standards at fence number 1. Left-hand turn onto the Great American Insurance Group signature fence number 2. Caliday comes up next, and that is the vertical. Fence number 3. Another vertical at fence number 4, and that is the Horseflight signature fence. First of the two combinations on course, fence number 5A and 5B. We have those Pine standards at 5A and 5B, vertical officer combination. Straight down to the Liverpool at fence number 6. And we have those beautiful rails at the fence that has the woodpeckers as the standards. Left-hand turn down the center line with the gold horsehead standards. That'll be fence number 7. Yeah, we do have the Protex, our signature fence, at fence number 8. We continue down that center line. Right-hand turn, and that is the Cabana Coast, fence number 9, right in front of that video board. 10 comes up next, comes up fairly quickly as well, as we have the rock standards of fence number 10. Second of the combinations on course, and that will be the butterfly combination, that officer vertical combination, and one final fence, fence number 12, as we're going to wrap by that in-gate. And fence number 12, we have the gray stones pillars with those doors in the middle, and that'll be the final fence in this round. One round and one round only. Ladies and gentlemen, 23 horse and rider combinations, time allowed, and that is 81 seconds in our FBI speed here on the beautiful Saturday morning. In order to honor our host nation, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. And certainly the perfect way to start the FBI 5-star speed, $36,600. And that is up for grabs. Marshall & Sterling, our wonderful sponsor. Marshall & Sterling's EquiSport division specializes in personal plans that encompass a full range of extensive equine, farm, and ranch insurance coverage options. And again, time allowed, 81 seconds under FBI rules. All through the height of a fence on course, that is 4 faults. First refusal, 4 faults. Second refusal, and that means elimination. Exceeding that time allowed of 81 seconds is a one-time fault per 4 seconds or parked her up over our time allowed. And here's our first rider, Ashley Bond. This rider's 36 years of age, rides for Israel. Currently the Longines World ranking 99th in the world. This rider represented Israel in the 2020 Olympic Games and 11th overall individually. And she's aboard Donatello 141. He's a 10-year-old Westphalian gelding. And the weight there and retiring, Ashley Bond and Donatello 141. And the rail of fence number 2. So the first of a 23. And they will retire from competition. Our second rider, this is a rider for Canada, Cassidy Keith aboard Havana. Havana owned by Cheryl Chief of Surrey, BC. crossing that finish line, 72.981 seconds. That rider, 22-year-old Cassidy Tees for Canada, aboard the 9-year-old Havana. 2 fences down to the early stages. 8 jumping faults. Again, their time is 72.98. Next rider also riding for Canada, Jacqueline Stevens aboard Cat Ninja. Cat Ninja owned by iCandy Jumpers out of Wellington, Florida.
Team final. Double points on offer next week as well, so that will keep everybody on the edge as to whether, well, if you've been following along, whether iCandy will be the winners or not. And also next week too for the team competition, they start in reverse order of the season. So no draw party this time around, no draws for the team competition next week. They did have a draw this week, and as those that follow, you'll see from the social media, the draws are never as simple as just drawing a name out of a hat. There's a little bit of a skill test. This week it was golf. It was nearest the pin competition. iCandy still getting the best of the draws, and Jacqueline Steffens part of that team, which is why I'm talking about them. Jacqueline been on several of those winning teams throughout the season for the iCandy team, but it's going to be Paul O'Shea, Connor Swale and Amy Miller this time around. Well over the Premier Equestrian fence. Back here alongside the screen. Yesterday they were just having a little look at the fences, not Jacqueline specifically. All the horses were a little more used to them today. Some brand new fences out here on the turf. Little touch there, bounces in the cups. Coming back to this last fence, and looks as though they should, if they leave it up, go well into the lead. And good round for them. 68.92, and Jacqueline Steffens' Cat Ninja stealthily in front. Jacqueline Steffens then leading this $36,600 class. Mentioned Paul O'Shea. O'Shea comes up next. A couple of the iCandy team coming up together. So does this bode well for the iCandy squad later? We will see. Little way to go in this. 23 in all in this Marshall and Sterling Speed here this morning. Stunning backdrop of the mountains overlooking. Beautiful temperature right now as well. Absolutely conditions perfect. Paul O'Shea looking to take advantage of that on the horse that he rode to win the Grand Prix in Monterey a few weeks ago. Another beautiful spot there, again with a mountainous backdrop. Trelawney Farms Chancelloress. Been building up nicely through the season, wins up in Michigan, and then converting that into the winners. They've just been knocking on the door, very close all season with some of the other big classes as they've stepped up. I think this again will be a nice run round for them, probably before tomorrow's 5-star Grand Prix. Looks a little forward there into that Oxer, just the woodpecker fence, just dropping a rail there. Or just settling her into that line. Giving plenty of space back here, as I say. I think he's going to have on his mind, well, a fence stand as well, but also going to have it on his mind possibly the big class tomorrow. Again, not being overrushed, so going to pick up some time faults in there as well. All actually circling before the last fence. Gonna have a little turn back to it, definitely in training mode at this point. There we go. And say they'll have their mind on what happens later on in the week and maybe next week as well. It is an early rail down for them is to just go a little forward over that fence and leaving them with a score of 15. 8 jumping 7 time total of 15 there. 106.13 as a time for Paul O'Shea and Chance the Rest. Kendall Gath now, one of the younger riders again in the field, riding a horse owned by the Equine Platform. Jamaica van Kattebeek, 12-year-old Belgian bred by Cooper van der Heffink for Kendall. Rides internationally for Uruguay. 20-year-old that's been jumping this horse into World Cups in the last few weeks. Jumped in Las Vegas and also in Sacramento. Only their second international season. As I say, having just come through the young rider age, still just in the edge of that at 20. Just taking care of that vertical just to put them on nice 5 stride distance. Just get on the inside of that little island. And again, it's all about how much they set up for this double, if they're chasing the clock or not. Again, looking to take a little pace off to get the turn, but needs enough energy to get across that oxer. Just a tap there as they just a fraction short of it. Minor fence, maybe just on the edge of time as well. But 81.52, just leaving them with the one time there for Kendall Gath and Jamaica van Kattebeek. Nice leap over the fence there, and here we get another shot down to the rocks fence just over the water. Tidy enough over those, finishing on just the one overall, 81.52. Time to beat being 68.92. Erin Davis Heineken now, and Christian Heineken against lucky number 11, 12-year-old by Levistano for Erin. Erin on the Roadrunners team alongside husband Christian. Actually, Roadrunners team later on is going to be an interesting one as well. Bearing in mind they're second in the championship at the moment. Neither of the Heinekens on the team this time around. It's Kyle King, Adrian Sternlich and McLean Ward. Lucky number 11, a fairly new ride for Erin, formerly ridden in Denmark. Been jumping together since just September this year in the international classes. Put several good clears together, but again just working out the buttons, finding their feet as a partnership. This sort of class gives them a good opportunity to get some of that mileage together. Gather themselves back up there. If you're coming into that double as well, they're just like she'd want to get straight to it. If you try and take it too much on the angle, it's pushing you towards the outside perimeter fence. Just could make it a very tricky shot to get. But Erin, as I say, really here with that early circle, just getting some mileage on the clock here for them. Just getting the confidence together. Better run down that line. Whoop, keep the balance. And we'll just leave them with the final fence. For jumping, it's going to be 8 for time as well. 1:11.94. And a little bit to add for time. 8 for time in there, 4 for jumping. Total of 12 overall for Erin Davis Heineken and lucky number 3. Jacqueline Steffens setting the pace so far with the only clear at the moment, 68.92. Bliss here is looking to shake all of that up with Goodbye. Bridgeside Farms of Las Vegas, Nevada's 10-year-old Dutch bred by Eldorado. Superclass yesterday of jumping we saw. Kristen van der Veen coming out victorious there. McLean, Ward close. Bliss here's there in the shake-up as well with Antidote de Mars. Here's been the horse that she's been turning to in these shoulder classes right the way throughout the Major League jumping. Finished well in similar class actually down in Mexico. Goodbye so far has been a very consistent finisher over the last few weeks. So what, 60% of the time up in the top 10. Bliss going on the wider route there, but keeping moving all the way. Certainly a horse that's got plenty of speed about it. Keen to get there. 68.92 leading time. She's got a double and one more fence to go, but she's just going to clip that behind as well. Going to be a little bit behind on time, but not bad round at all. Finishing on just the 4 fault, 74.68, just on the 4 there for Bliss Here's and Goodbye. Puts her into 3rd place at the moment. Picked up on the run down there, just twists to catch that first part of the double. Into 3rd at this stage is Kendall Gath in the 2nd spot at the moment on the 1 time fault. Jacqueline Steffens leading with Cat Ninja on 68.92. Alessandra Volpi now, Foster. Another of the younger riders coming through this year that hail from California. 21 years of age. Actually, she rode this horse at the Young Rider Championships this year. Into top 20 individually, 7th place as a team. She's actually a past silver medalist in the previous running back in 2019 in Young Riders too. With this horse, finished individual 6th on that occasion. Foster, the Hanoverian by 4 edition, former rider of Lars Nieberg of Germany. Again, early rail, but then 1 and 2 with an early rail. There's still the 4 faulters are very much in the game at the moment, so it's worth having a run. Alessandro had that very good run at the World Cup qualifier in Washington, finishing in 2nd spot there with Belinda. But has had a good few rounds in this competition this season as well. Up there on the podium in Traverse City for the teams. Head home on the 4. Michelle giving them a horseshoe back to that final fence. Depends how much you want to power off that corner and run to it. Finishing on the 4 there, 80.42, so inside the time. Into fourth spot there for Alessandra Volpi and Foster 39, 80.42. Jacqueline Steffens keeping the lead at the moment. It's Canada, Uruguay, USA top 3 at this stage. Beloved Deschamps for Luis Sabino Gonçalves of Portugal. The Portuguese rider who through this year has been based out in the USA. He started his season over here in California very successfully. Nice Grand Prix win here at the Desert Horse Park. Of course, they'll resume their winter program around mid-January here. Winter being the probably not the prime word in there because the sun will be out. Beautiful spot to be here in the desert, here in La Quinta, just down the road from Palm Springs. Some major changes that have taken place here during this year and in the last year or so of the horse park here. Some major upgrades, looks in great shape. This brand new grass arena being one of them, but again, as I say, next week you'll see a few more of the changes as well. Team here really driving forward with this venue, and Luis, very good producer of horses, been behind some of the top horses in the world through his career. Been a big player for the Portuguese team, many times European championships amongst others. This is a horse that hasn't done too much internationally. I think this is one of their first weeks competing internationally together. So again, another one in very capable hands, just getting a little bit of mileage. Just take it very quietly down that line, sets up nicely to give them every opportunity. Going to pick up a little bit of time on the way, but as I say, it's going in the experience book. It is 4 for jumping, 2 for time, total of 6 there. It's 86.40 as a time, so picks up 2 time there for Luis Sabino Gonçalves and Beloba Deschamps. Christian Heineken now, NKH Cento Blue. Coming up towards the halfway stage of this opening class of the day. Marston Sterling speed class. Christian, who was the real master of speed when it came to the last team event in Monterrey, rode off for the win and brought it home for the Roadrunners team. Of course, in that final stage of the teams, you finish up riding for first and second, gold or silver. There's just one rider in each team, but unfortunately the start today is not what we've been used to recently. Stuttery start, time to put things back together. And Christian doing a job just to calm everything down, put that behind them, and just now continue on in good form. Just unfortunately gets underneath that fence. And tripled that one off as well, but better finishing lineup so far than the start. Christian doing a good job just to steady the ship and set themselves up for the rest of the week. There we go. Put the early issues behind them, and it's 20 jumping, 2 for time, 22 in total, 88.65. Just came to cut across that first fence. Unfortunately, that came down and it snowballed into a refusal in the next, and then it really was about putting things together. Back in the box for the rest of the week. Chandler Meadows now, Zamia 3. Another of the local riders here for this Californian event. Past bronze medalist from the Young Rider Championships. Now, 26 years of age. Chandler with Zamia 3 on the Blazing Sevens team throughout this season. Blazing Sevens today, though, going to be another different lineup. Rowan Willis, Cara Rather Carey, and Lauren Huff on the squad this time. That comes up later on, as I say, at 1:30 this afternoon. Chandler, who finished well in these classes in September in Traverse City at the American Gold Cup show there. Keeping up a nice pace so far. A couple of touches in that previous line. Gets a good inside run there, inside the ferns. There is space at the top at the moment. Jacqueline Steffens the only clear on 68.92. There's a chance of going into maybe second spot. Just got to leave the last fence up. Gives herself a good shot at it. And there we go, nice round put together for Chandler Meadows and Zamia 3. Finishing on a clear. Puts them into second place at the moment. There was one of the early fences. Nice cruising run down that line from 5 to 6. And dropping into second place so far. Still Jacqueline Steffens leading with Cat Ninja on 68.92. Derek Chang now from Pacific Palisades here in California. Now the 25-year-old rider with the horse he rode at the World Cup just a few weeks ago in Las Vegas. Chappie. It's been his only international horse up to date. Started riding internationally back in 2019. Those were at Del Mar, and of course here at the Desert Horse Park. Also actually finished well in Sacramento. The World Cup qualifier there, finishing into 6th place. Just went to get that one, but just maybe a fraction forward as they get to that fence. Just leaves them on the 4. Coming home on the 4. Chance to be up there around about 5th or 6th. just on the 4 there, 80.03. Goes into 5th place there, just with a 1 down for Derek Chang and Chappie. Takes a run on that, but just flattens a little coming to it. Otherwise, solid enough ride all the way through. Finishing on the 4. Top 5 at the moment. Still the class led by Jacqueline Stephens. Charlotte Meadows in 2nd. Kendall Gath in 3rd. Just the 2 of those on the 0 score. 1 time fault for Kendall Gath. A few now that could shake this up. Misty Kassar is one of those, the Californian rider with Viking de Lam. Also finished well in the recent World Cup qualifiers. Of course, a couple of those over here to the West Coast in recent weeks with Sacramento and Las Vegas. Now this 12-year-old by Newton de Kruiske. Started to ride this horse internationally this year. Former ride of several, including in France and Spain. Comes to turn up tight for that, but unfortunately has that down. Nice turn up into the Cabana Coast fence. Still fairly quick 4. Will put you into 4th place at the moment. Good 4 faults there, and 71.53. And I mentioned it could put you into 4th. Into 4th they go for Misty Kassar and Viking de Lam. So Bliss here is moving into 5th place on 74.68. And Misty there into 4th. It's Kendall Gath on the 1 time fault in 3rd at the moment. Chandler Meadows in 2nd. And Jacqueline Stephens in the number 1 spot. Jordan Coyle now, Picador. The Irishman with the ride for the Elan Farm, and this could change the shape of this class if he's on song here. Giving the first 2 fences a little bit of wide run there, and unfortunately has the 2nd down. Goes the whip to the 3rd. Looks more settled over those fences. Just goes wide here after that early rail. Going to leave Jacqueline Stephens in the lead then at the moment. Quieter, more settled over the last few fences. Just the last. This could leave them in the money into about 5th or 6th. And on the 4 faults there, 77.42 into 6th spot there for Jordan Coyle and Picador.
Back to Canada, the rider, Crazy X.
So top few of the moment, Jacqueline Steffens, Charlie Meadows and Kendall Gath still. Tracy Epp now and Chicago. Chance for the Canadian to again move things forward from Richmond, British Columbia originally. A few of the Canadian contingent headed down here for the sunshine. Of course, Canada getting more into its skiing mode at the moment. Then headed down the west coast. Chicago having finished well in Vancouver. In BC at Thunderbird. Back into September of this year. Thunderbird set to feature on big tours next year as well. Be great to be back into the big competitions up there at Langley. Just coming up for this final fence on the 4, going to be just close on the time. Oh, and unfortunately rolls into that one, and unfortunately that last fence well and truly coming with them. It's a total of 5 there, 83, 1, 2, and 1 to add for time there as well. The Stones vertical coming for them, and unfortunately really not in the spot they wanted to be at the last. And leaves them on a total of 9 there for Tracy Epp and Chicago. Still staying with the Canadians and seeing Lisa Carlson coming into view. And Lisa with Susan Stevens is Adina de l'Amadage. Wonderfully experienced rider, Olympics, World Cup finals, Pan Am Games. And she went nicely with this horse just a few weeks ago here in California, finishing into second place in the 3-star classes here, and then of course moving up this week into the 5. Also on the 4 at the moment, still leaving it unchanged at the top, with Canada actually leading. Jacqueline Steffens and Cat Ninja, Chandler Meadows in second for the USA. Uruguay's Kendall Gath in third with Jamaica. Drops down hard on the back bar of that Cabana Coast to take it up to 8. It's an 11-year-old by Flying Quite Easy. Little touch of the last to leave them on the 8 faults there. It's 74.23, and I will say that last fence, but unfortunately that one didn't. And here at the Cabana Coast just cut stand short on that. 8 in total for Lisa Carlson, goes into 11th place with Tina de la Hermitage. Mark Kinsella now. Belle d'Argent. Perry didn't have the easiest passage yesterday, looking to build on that today. Again, there's a horse moving up into these international classes with Mark. The Sydenham Horses Limited. 10-year-old by Tinker's Boy. Very good breeding on Dam side as well to Kidam de Revel. Just unfortunately taking that vertical at 3 down with them with the Caladay fence, but a more settled round today nicely. Nice shot down that line. Again, Mark just taking a bit of time here to get some space back to this next related line. And there we go, we'll just finish on the 4. In fact, going to be a little bit of time to add there as takes them to 5, but a good, better passage round today. 83.38. Finishing on the 5 there for Mark Kinsella and Beryl d'Argent for the rider riding for Ireland. Top few of the moment, still Jacqueline Steffens and Charlie Meadows and Kendall Garth, top 3 at the moment. Mavis Spencer next with Carlos BH, horse that's been with her for a little while now, and by Ken Dickey of the Rocking D Ranch. Jumped this horse in the World Cup qualifier in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. Also Sacramento too. And coming on as a nice partnership together. Ken ridden this horse just a couple of times internationally, but Delaney Flynn, Nick De La Joya and Mavis Spencer most recently taking this horse on. Nick De La Joya back in 2020. Mavis hailing from California, of course, originally. Worked with some of the leading riders in the world, from Kent Farrington to Dara Kenny, and really worked hard, built her way up to this level, jumping into some of her first 5 stars. Going nicely so far. And the clears are a premium at the moment, just 2 of those. Might be just a little bit of danger of time here, but that would still leave them top 5. Mavis deliberate down that line, but nicely done. Just leaves her 1 to go. Yeah, time should be okay. Looking good. Very nicely done, and leaves her mid-70s, 76.58. Into 3rd place there for Mavis Spencer and Carlos BH. Good round for them together. Top 3. Charlotte Meadows in 2nd at the moment. Zamia 3 and Jacqueline Steffens leading the pack on Cat Ninja at the moment. So top 3 finish for Mavis. Nice step up for them into these 5-star classes. Sorry, Gordon Solanke now, and a Zorro 108. Now for the Tomboy Farms of Los Angeles. Also been on a similar path in the last few weeks, having competed in Sacramento at the World Cups there and then in Las Vegas. Riding internationally for Israel, actually competed on the Nations Cup back in 2019 up in Canada. Nice tidy turn back here. Just unfortunately gets close to that next Premier Equestrian fence. Just the last. Going to be a couple down for them. Finishing on a total of 8 there, 77.76. And 8 there for Israel's. Sorry, Gordon Solanke and Zorro 108, the 15-year-old Westphalian. Top 3, most recent change there being Mavis Spencer going into 3rd place with a Carlos BH. Jacqueline Steffen still leading with Cat Ninja. Not too many left to go in this class. I think around 3 left to go. Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen now. Halifax. Now for the 24-year-olds. World Cup finalist in 2019. Superb career that she had. Right the way through equitation, building up through to the next level, the U25s. Been jumping those again earlier this year in Wellington, Florida. Recent trip with this horse to Wellington. In fact, it's a newer ride for her. Only into October of this year. For Norwegian ride of Theresa Henriksen. So really just getting through the buttons here. I've jumped a 3 Grand Prix so far. Still on the clear at the moment. Jacqueline Steffen's leading, 68.92. Halifax, 14-year-old, by Codex, in fact. Codex, that was the top ride of Christian Alman. Went on to multiple big World Cup qualifying wins, major Grand Prix wins. Coming through nicely so far for Kelly. Just to go into a good position, and there we go. We'll be home in just over 78 seconds. 78.11 into 4th spot for Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen and Halifax van der Koningenberg. 4th spot for Kelly. It is Mavis Spencer in 3rd, Charlotte Meadows in 2nd, Jacqueline Steffen still leading on 68.92. I think it is actually 3 still left to come after this. Katie Laurie, Sierra Caruso for the Australian, owned by Carissa McCall. Absolutely storming start in Michigan in Traverse City earlier on this year. And put her in shortlist contention for the Olympic Games. Really good start from her, looking to follow that on now. Of course, she's based in Canada now, had recent good wins up in Canada at Spruce Meadows. That Olympic ride being Casebrook Lemon that went so well with her in Michigan earlier on this year. She started her season out here at the Desert Horse Park, again racking up the wins. Early rail for her, but again, Four Faults is potentially in the money at the moment. Four Faults still would get you into 6th place. Just has to fight down that line, unfortunately. Just on the 8 now and coming to the last. Sarah Caruso and Australian Katie Laurie just cutting across that final fence. Just a little touch as they go over it. There it is on the 8. Big leap over there. Unfortunately, just gets a little far off that second fence. And here just coming to cut in. Looks as though just unfortunately run out of room on the 8 there for Katie. Samuel Parot, very capable of just stealing a class away like this. He's just come onto the tour recently and part of the series in Mexico. Made it a winning opening appearance in Otomi. Olympic rider in 2012. That was the London Olympics, World Championships. Multiple Grand Prix wins. Finished 13th in that Grand Prix in Monterrey-La Sierra a few weeks ago. That was just on the Four Faults. Also just on the Four Faults already. That second fence, the Great American Insurance Group fence, has claimed quite a few so far. Saying whoa as they look to land and get the balance inside on that inside turn. Coming home on the 4, and unfortunately that's going to be 8. Last fence there coming down at 73.91 and takes them into 7th place at the moment. Samuel Parot heading out on the 8, leaves us 1 left to come. Jacqueline Steffens Cat Ninja still leading 68.92. Caitlin Campbell going to be the last with Fayon. Now for her it was a similar class win in Monterrey-La Sierra a few weeks ago. Rider was based on the East Coast through most of her career, now based here on the West Coast of the USA. Fayon with a nice win there, and also for the teams. She was in top form in Monterrey as well, finishing there top of the podium. So Caitlin Campbell, every chance here Penultimate combination on this. Well, actually, the final combination withdrawal from our final one, I think. So this is looks like the last 11-year-old Dutch bred gelding by Zazu R. Little touch of the first, but that may well wake them up. Now, second, this is where this Quarter Future gets a nice shot to that. Nicely to the Caladay fence. Again, this is where you need a little bit of care. As I say, you've got to get up, give yourself space to get the shot in here. Well up that line. A little bit steadier, I think, than Jacqueline Steffens. But still a nice clear here would put her top 5. Still on the 0 score. 68.92 might be just beyond their reach, but could get second or third. Looking good so far as they clear the last, and it will, I think, go into second spot there. Again, with second with Caitlin Campbell and Fayon. 73.03. Nicely round to mean our top 5 will all finish on a 0 score. Jacqueline Steffens will be a winner of this Marsh and Sterling class with Cat Ninja. Caitlin Campbell there going into second with Fayon. Third to Charlotte Meadows, and Zamia 3 on 75.92. Mavis Spencer finishes in fourth spot with Carlos BH. And into fifth, it's Kelly Cruciotti, Van der Veen, Halifax, Van de Kunenberg. Sixth spot to Kendall Gath in the end on that one-time fault with Jamaica. It is seventh to Misty Cassar and Viking Delhomme finish on the 4 faults into seventh. And eighth place to Bliss Heers. And goodbye, there's your confirmation of this $36,600 class, Marshall and Sterling sponsor class. Jacqueline Steffens is the winner for Canada. It's then followed by 4 from the USA. Caitlin Campbell, Chandler Meadows, Mavis Spencer and Kelly Cruciotti, Van der Veen, and Uruguay fly the flag in 6th. That concludes this class. We will be back a little later on, just coming up to 11 o'clock local time here, but 1:30 is the team event for Major League Jumping. Build up to that from around 1:15, so make sure you join us for that. We will be back, but in the meantime, presentation coming up. Is it a good omen that the team rider for the Eye Candy team takes the first win of the day? Will the team remain victorious later? Different lineup though. Wait and see. Amy Miller, Paul O'Shea, Connor Swale coming back for the Eye Candy team. Lots to enjoy later on. You're going to see McLean Ward, Adrian Sternlick, Carl Cook, Erin Ballard, Niall Nassar, Marge Engel, all on the lineup later. Come and join us for that. Let's say first horse, 1:30.
Jumbotron are top placing. So Jacqueline Steffens, represented by Cat Ninja, they have the win. Caitlin Campbell, Fayon in second for the USA. Third for the USA, Chandler Meadows and Zamia 3. Fourth place, that will go to Mavis Spencer and Carlos Field. Kelly Cruciotti, Van der Veen, Halifax, Duncan Manenberg in fifth. Kendall Gath, Benita Banks-Hatby for Uruguay in sixth place. Seventh, Mr. Gazar and Viking Delhomme. Well, in eighth place, that is Bliss Heers, and goodbye ninth to Jordan Coyle for Island Picador. USA, Greg Shane in 10th, the boys champion. 11th, also the USA, Alessandra Volpi and Foster 39. And Mark Gonzalez, Garzon. So they will wrap up the top 12. three back in the ring for the presentation. Marshall and Sterling, FBI 5-star speed. And Canada coming out on top. On top, Jackson seventh and Cat Ninja. That rider was 27 years of age. With the third to go. And Ninja on top. That means a 15-year-old world of cornrow mare. Caitlin Campbell line up in second place. Rounding in third, there is Chandler Meadows. And again, our top two riders off their mount. And it's been a great competition for the FBI 5-star event going on all throughout the weekend here. And a beautiful grass field. And Steve Benson and Steve White joining us for the presentation. Third place, there is Chandler Meadows for the USA. In second, next to step up on the podium, Caitlin Campbell, also for the USA. Well, our champion joining us from Canada, 27-year-old Jacqueline second. What a great young rider there representing Canada, only 27 years of age. Our top two right there. Just amazing competition out here in the beautiful grass stadium. And ladies and gentlemen, in order to honor our champion, we would ask you to please rise for the national anthem of Canada. Once again, our champion right there representing Canada, 27-year-old Jacqueline Evans. And we are going to have our top three get back on their horses, their respective mounts. And that's Cat Ninja in first, they on second. The VFC in third. Those riders, second. Caitlin Campbell, Chandler Meadows. As first, second, and third. Great competition. The Marshall and Sterling FBI 5-star speed. And family tour aboard Cat Ninja, that nation's 15-year-old mare. Robert Jackson second for Canada. Just one more point to do, and that is how Jacqueline and Cat Ninja lead our field in our victory ride. The top three currently Marshall and Sterling, FBI 5-star speed, and our champion once again, Jackson 7 from Canada aboard Cat Ninja. And three great young riders right there. Jacqueline Williams, Caitlin Campbell in second aboard Chaos, third Chandler Meadows, and from the F3. Racers out a great job. That was super fun this morning. But the combination regular ground stadium, it is not done at 1:30. And that will be the Miserable Skate Jumping Team Competition. We'll talk about the Timbers Club and Groove Tour. That'll be up next at 1:30.